Yeah, today we're trying to help you understand Utah. Utah's new congressional maps have been a long 7-year process. Prop 4 passed on the ballot by Utah voters in 2018.
All right, with the maps seemingly settled for now, we are joined by Emma Addams from the Mormon Women for Ethical Government to discuss what is next in this process. Emma, thank you for being here.
Thanks so much for having me.
Okay, what is next in this process? This has been a lot of twists and turns, so what comes next?
It has been. So the map that the judge put in place, I think it was just last week, as far as we know, it is now in place. The legislature has said they will appeal, but there's no indications that's going to happen anytime soon. So it looks like for 2026, this map will be in place for the election.
Now, House Speaker Schultz said that they didn't leave time because the deadline, the judge made the decision like right before midnight, and they didn't have time to appeal, so he was going to appeal that timing. Is that even possible?
I think, you know, it sounds like they will try to appeal at some point, but as you said, the maps needed to be in place by November 10th, and Lieutenant Governor Henderson has said that she's in the process of implementing them, putting them in place to follow the court order.
Can you talk about just how long this has taken? And obviously, a lot of this played through the legal system. Why has it taken so long? Why did it take so long to get to this point?
Yeah, I think one way to look at it is you have a system of checks and balances. You have separation of powers, and in this case, you have the legislature and you have the people, which is the House of the People, and you have the judicial system. And so there's been a bit of a tug back and forth, and sometimes these things take time. But I think that the process has really allowed kind of support and interest to grow in Utah. So while it's been a while, it's also been, frankly, fun to watch the people of Utah be so engaged in this and to be following it and to be, learning about the Utah Constitution and how everything works. So it's been, I try to look on the bright side. It's been long, but it's also been a very participatory process.
And they might be more involved in the next election.
I think so. I mean, that's the goal, right? Yeah. Is participation, civic engagement by a cross-partisan group of people.
So it started with Prop 4 in 2018 was the vote. And then there was the census and
in 2020,
and they reworked the map. What happened there with Prop 4 and then the reworking the map?
Yeah, so Prop 4 was put in place by a cross-partisan group of Utahns, the Voice of the People in 2018. The census happened in 2020, and then the Utah legislature essentially repealed Prop 4 and put in place a law called SB 200 that was a different version and kind of made the Independent Commission advisory. So this process played out across the state in 2021. Many Utahns participated in it. They watched the maps be drawn in real time. Those were submitted to the legislature, and then the legislature put their own maps in place and basically ignored those maps. So that's kind of got us to this point, and then in 2022, we, along with the League of Women Voters, sued the legislature and asked Prop 4 to be put back in place.
Okay. As you know, there's another side to this.
Yes,
state GOP leaders, they have not been, or they've been vocal in expressing their displeasure with the recent developments here. They have kept saying that, look, the authority to redraw congressional boundaries in Utah is spelled out in the Utah Constitution, that it falls with the state legislature. What do you say to that argument?
Yeah, I think kind of going back to what I said at the beginning, to watch this tussle between kind of judiciary and the legislature play out, we have a unanimous Supreme Court ruling on which this Judge Gibson's decision was based. And so the Supreme Court, the judicial system disagrees. They disagree with that interpretation of the Utah Constitution, and we do too. The Utah Constitution gives the people the right to alter and reform their government. That is a right. The shall draw maps, but there is actually, that's meant to be a creation process with the people. It's not a sole authority, and the Constitution doesn't grant them sole authority, and the judiciary agrees with us in this case.
Okay, so there are several groups who've gotten together for this. Why is that important for your group?
So we are a cross-partisan group of women. We're one of the wonderful places in the U.S. where people can talk to each other across party lines and agree on certain things and disagree on a lot. But we agree on this, and we are like 40% Republican and 34 Democrat and 26 Independent. And so that really matters because a cross-partisan principled effort is more durable than a highly partisan one. And it's more meaningful, and we think it is representative of the people of Utah.
There is an effort now to repeal Proposition 4.
Indeed.
And we've heard from those advocating for that. From your perspective, how do you see that effort playing out? What do you see so far?
So we are inviting Utahns to decline to sign that petition. The people put into place Prop 4 in 2018. Let's keep it into place. Let's have this process play out again in the public view. You know, the efforts that we as MWAG, as Mormon Women for Ethical Government, have undertaken have been, on this effort, have been fully funded and completed by Latter-day Saint women of our organization in the state. And so there's that kind of also tussle around here is how authentic this is to the people of Utah. So we are asking our members and the general public to really, if someone approaches you with signature, ask for a copy of what it is they're asking you to sign, and then read it, and then see if that's something that we would like to do. We would ask you to decline to sign, though.
There's a big campaign behind that. Let's talk about the map that was approved. We've seen a lot of Democrats line up. Is this map fair?
Yes, so what this map does is it was not drawn with any partisan data, and that's really a best practice when you're doing redistricting, is to keep partisan data out of the map drawing process. Now in Utah, the political geography is clearly concentrated for Democrats in Salt Lake. And so that is the reason why this map shows up that way. I'm not a Democrat personally, so you have to kind of talk to Democrats about how they feel about that. But I think what it does is it does create a district in Salt Lake that for many Democrats feels like it's more of a reflection of their political beliefs, and frankly for many Republicans too, for many more moderate Republicans. I actually happen to live in that district. Many of my neighbors are Republicans, and they're thrilled about this ruling.
And if these maps stand, it does present a dilemma for our 4 Republican Congress people right now, because one of them would have to decide, well, potentially, I don't know, maybe not running, because it could be stacked against them so much, right?
Yeah, so the filing, there's a filing window in early January, from January 2nd to January 8th. It's a very narrow window. So we'll know a lot more after January 8th to see who, some candidates have been declaring on social media, but the actual filing will happen in that period of time.
Okay. And do you think it's more fair with, we have 100% of our representation Republican right now, but not 100% of Utahns are Republican. Does this make it a little more fair?
I think it does. I think we'll see play out over the next year a high degree of political participation and civic engagement by Utahns who maybe have felt over the past 7 years that their voice wasn't being heard. And I think that's good for everyone. Cynicism is not good, but participation and active engagement in this process, we all benefit from that.
We'll see if an appeal comes, though, right? Like, it could be coming. We don't know. They've said their hands are tied a little bit, but then they say, well, we're still trying, so who knows how that will play out. So maybe these maps are set in stone for a little bit anyway.
I think we should move ahead as though they are. That's my goal
and
here.
What's your website if people want to check out some information?
Yeah, it's mweg.org, Mormon Women for Ethical Government, and we love to have people join us.
Okay.
Thank you, Emma.
Thanks
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thanks for having me.